Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So, another TV show has come to an end, and I'm here to talk about it. So, The Gifted is basically Fox Marvel Universe, sort of like, it's kind of like the Netflix Marvel Universe, but belongs to Fox, and is in the X-Men universe and whatnot. And this season 1 is pretty solid. I like it a lot. Now, do keep in mind that this show is not an action show. It has action scenes in it, but overall, I would not call this an action show. It is a drama. So basically, we are in a world where the X-Men and the Brotherhood they're no longer there. So there's this new team of mutants called the Mutant Underground. And, you know, basically mutants are being treated so unfairly by society. And, like, it always has been the case, but we have come to a point where, you know, they have to hide. They have to find, like, a hiding place, and they have to get away from humans. I think that is a really smart decision of the creators of this show, because it makes the show that much more relevant, and like there's so many things in the shows that sort of echoes what we're seeing right now in the world. If you're not someone who wants your movies and show to be super political, you might have a problem with this show, because it is a very political shows, and there are things in the shows that again echoes the themes of racism, sexism, classism that we're seeing right now in America. They're really on the nose, and a lot of people is going to have a problem with that. Me, even though I'm not a political person, I didn't really have a big problem with that in an X-Men show, is because I was such a huge fan of the X-Men anime series. To me, one of the best animated show ever made. And if you remember from that show, the X-Men animated series is very political, and there's a lot of things in the anime series that somewhat carry over to The Gifted, in terms of like themes and messages about racism and classism and whatnot. There's a lot of characters in this show, but I feel like for the most part they did a really good job balancing the different storylines. My personal favorites are Reed Strucker, the father of the humans family, Marcos Diaz, aka Eclipse, Clarice Fong, aka Blink, who has the best power ever. Last but not least, Lorna Dane, also known as Polaris, and also known as the daughters of Magneto. These 4 actors, whose name I cannot remember, but I'll look into that later, gave really solid performances. If I have to pick one favorite character, it has to be Polaris, because she has the best character arc. The relationship between these people are very similar to that of the X-Men and the Brotherhood. They want to protect mutants, but there's sort of ideologies is just so they cannot be more different. So that's great, really good conflict. And then you have the human side, which are the cops, the scientists who are developing all these, method to control mutants. One cop in particular, Agent Turner, who started off kind of a dick, but then you learn certain things about his characters, and there actually one episode really brought tears into my eye. It was really emotional. He is one of those bad guys where, like, in that story you are not supposed to root for him, but for some reason that you just know, as an audience, you would not have it any other way. And that's just good writing. John Proudstar, aka Thunderbird, is also another character. He has really cool powers and had a big role to play in the Mutant Underground. But I feel like the writings for him is a bit generic in terms of like the dialogues and his character motivations, and there's actually a couple of instances where I wanted the actors to be a bit more emotional, because something bad just happened to him and his acting is not quite there yet. maybe because he is like an ex-military man, and you know there has to be like, you know, machos and whatnot, you know, like the real man, so they have to like keep their emotion in check. But you know, from a human point of view, from a mutant's point of view, I just want a little bit more emotion, a little bit more sort of sadness in his acting. One character I found kind of annoying at some part was the mom. Mama Strucker. Listen, I know she's trying to be helpful. She's trying to, you know, protect her kids, and you know she's coming from a good place. But when the story is slowed down, when characters make plan and you know the plan didn't, you know, go so well, it's because of her. Like, she's there to slow down everything, basically. Like her family is as sort of a refugee camp for mutants. And tell me why this woman thought it was a good idea to open a school. Like, these people, they're trying to survive. They're trying to, you know, find ways to fight back. And like, she's just there like, oh, you guys can't like practice self-defense unless you read these book or take, you know, geometry and whatnot. And I'm just like, really, come on. The only way I can describe her is that she is such a mom, you know, and she is just there to tell you you shouldn't do it. She is there to tell you that it's a bad idea. I think if people like actually listen to her, we would not have a show. So yeah, I mean, she got better, you know, but there's another character who appears sort of like in the last half of the show. I'm not gonna tell you who it is. The actress, she was asked to play basically 3 parts at the same time, and a lot of the time these characters, they are in the same scenes. So you have not 2 but 3 people who looks exactly alike in one scene and make it look real and authentic. And you know, it like, I know it's not an easy thing to do, and they put it off quite nicely. Now, because this show is a drama, they didn't have a lot of action scenes, and that, from a production point of view, is a really good thing, because when the action happens, it looks great. Like, the special effect, the CG, looks almost cinematic. And some of these people, like the power, like for example Eclipse, how he's like shoot the lights out of his hand, it looks awesome. And how Blink sort of opened the portal. Like, this is not Blink from X-Men Days of Future Past, where she can like throw something and the portals would open. This version of Blink is very young, very sort of inexperienced. So when she like open the portal, she has to like pull something out, and it looks like, it doesn't look easy to do, you know what I mean? And Polaris, whose power is very similar to that of Magneto's, like she can control metals, and you know, the green thingy when she does that is really cool. But then there are also some characters that, you know, who has these like very vague sort of telekinesis powers, where you like, I don't know if it just maybe the way that it was filmed, it doesn't look great, where you would have one scene where a character just kind of go like that, and then you cut to another scene, and then you see something like fly off or something like explode. I don't know, it just looked kind of cheap, and I like, personally, I didn't like how that powers was put on display, because like in the X-Men movie, the telekinesis powers, they're done really cool. Maybe it's just like the way it's shot. Like, maybe it's just have like a over the shoulder shot where you can see the character, you know, does something, and you would see the, like, let's say flip a table, you would see the table on the same frame as the characters. Here, the character would, you know, do the action, and then you have to cut to another frame to see the effect. I know it's a nitpick, but like, I don't know. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but near the end of the show, there's a bit of like sound editing problem where, you know, in a conversation, a character would sounds like, you know, the sounds being recorded live on set. But in that same conversation, the sounds also sound like ADR, like not like the good ADR where like Hugh Jackman doing like the Wolverine, like the but you know, the really bad one, the really obvious one. The Strucker kids, at first I thought they were gonna be annoying, but you know, the more time that I spend with them, they're not so bad. And actually something they did with their powers near the end of the show is actually really cool. I've never seen that before. Because the show exists in the same universe as the X-Men universe, you get some name drops here and there, but it just feels like, you know, like the fan service, you know, like, you know, I guess Magneto, the X-Men, the Hellfire Club, they get mentioned a little bit. But I hope for season 2, some, you know, like big player actually show up and you know, have like a cameo or something. So overall, a really solid season 1. I would love to see more, you know, and not just the story going forward, but a lot of these characters, how season 1 ended and where they are. I want to see how you could like explore that, because the conflict is always going to be there, and it's not just human versus mutant. It's mutant versus mutant, and that's sort of the occurring themes in the X-Men mythos, and I really love how they portrayed that in this show. It started off kind of slow, and I can see how the drama aspect of the show would piss some, you know, action and X-Men fan, but if you know, be patient with it and, you know, actually spend time with these characters, I think there's a lot to enjoy in The Gifted season 1, and I'm gonna give this season 1 an 8 out of 10. If you have finished season 1 of The Gifted, I would like to know your thoughts on this show so far. In the comment section, let me know how you feel about it. Did you like it? Did you not like it? And if you enjoy my reviews, hit the like button, subscribe to me if you want to see more reviews like this. With that being said, I'll see you soon.